Good morning, everybody.
Hello, everyone. Hello on this day that's special for us because it's the day that is traditionally believed to be Isis's birthday, the August 12th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe she's celebrated today, which is beautiful because it is for us always kind of like the closing of the Lionsgate portal that started in July and then with a peak on the 8th and now the 12th, her birthday. And actually in 3 days, we also have the Mother Mary festivity. So there's a lot of these very strong, powerful energies running around. And you have probably noticed a lot of energies moving during this Lionsgate portal. If you haven't seen the live from Lionsgate transmission and talk, then please have a look because there's so much information to share about all the things that have changed, paradigms that have really shifted in the last few weeks during this portal, and we're integrating all of that information. But we felt there's a lot of learnings that we want to bring across coming from that new state of consciousness. And we want to talk about a few of those today, and in the coming days, a few others. And maybe you can be with those things as we move into the rest of August and September, and for us, the autumn. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the one of the themes that has been kind of coming up a lot is the theme of heart imagery and the importance of heart imagery. All of us who are committed to doing inner spiritual work and committed to our own sovereignty, committed to peace, we're really being invited, and actually in a very strong way, now more than ever, maybe before, to be practicing heart imagery, to be taking back our power to create our reality. There's so much discussion about wars in the media at this time, and there are so many so-called experts that talk about inevitable wars. And really, this is an invitation to not move into a fatalistic state, which is absolutely the antithesis of our power, but to fully step into our power even more than ever before and start to use this tool of heart imagery, which is really moving into the heart, meditating on images of peace from the space of the heart. Images of peace, feelings of peace in your region where you live, in other regions of the world, imagining what it is like when humans are living peacefully with nature, with each other, and building a world that's very fabric is based in peace.
Yes, I think it's a great exercise to start in your own home. If you're living alone or in family situation, but really start looking how the most harmonious, balanced way of living is in that constellation. And then start to practice in other situations in your life, your work, maybe in your own environment, your own village, and see how that looks like in your heart in the most ideal situation. So make it easy in a way on yourself and small, and then move out to maybe bigger subjects also as you get more used to working with heart imagery.
But I'd like to maybe share a story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to share a story because it's one of many experiences that I've had, and some people in our community know this story already, but it is an example of how we have the power really to influence what appear to be inevitable outcomes. And I was living for some time in the Czech Republic, and there were plans. There were actually contracts already signed between the Czech government and the American government to build a military radar near my house. And the community that I was in at the time, we all felt that this is not a good thing. We did not want this to happen. So we made a decision to start meditating regularly. We made an appointment with ourselves and with each other to meditate regularly on imagining a beautiful, pristine nature environment in that area, undisturbed by human projects, and a really beautiful energy in that area. And so we did this practice for several months. And at the end of several months, the governments canceled the contract and the radar was built. So this is a very concrete example of how this can work.
And the power of a few people.
Exactly.
Focusing on this.
The power of a few people. And so we have this incredible power within us that we need to harness and utilize to create the world we want to see, which is a world of peace.
Yeah. I want to say something about the astrology because we have still Saturn in Pisces, which is about spiritual responsibility. And it's a beautiful time to practice when we feel cold and we know that we master all these techniques that we've been practicing for eons, maybe, that it's now the time to bring it forth. So it's not like, it's a free choice to step into one's own responsibility because actually you feel it as no choice. You're just living your own power and bringing that into the world. So the astrology is with us on that, and it will become even stronger this week as we have a combination of Jupiter squared Saturn starting in a whole cycle in the coming period of 1 year, 1.5 years almost. Yeah. So this theme of spiritual responsibility may be more feelable in yourself, may also maybe cause some friction that you think, oh, this is new for me. I need to really step up now. So it can cause also these emotions maybe, but know that we're all in the same boat and we're ready to step forward. Yeah.
It's interesting how you talk about spiritual responsibility because at the retreat that we had at the gathering or the assembly, the spiritual assembly we had in 𝐉𝐨𝐢𝐬 a couple of weeks ago, the Planetary Spiritual Council came in with exactly those same words that they were asking each and every one of us to step up and to move up in the amount of spiritual responsibility that we were willing to take on. So it's definitely in the field.
Yeah, it is. It is becoming only stronger. Yeah. But maybe also some explanation. We spoke about the deep understanding to hold that also within us, that each of us is a fractal. And what does that mean in a way? It's about creating or making peace in your own reality, in yourself, with your close ones, your co-workers. And when that is happening, when you move through that process, then this peace, as being this fractal, will then reflect itself into our reality through resonance in others, because we're all about energy, we're all about resonance, about sounds. And then from this resonance through the geometry, in all of the living beings. So by starting in ourselves and creating this resonance of peace in ourselves, we affect the entire geometry. We affect the entire reality. So it's about building our microenvironments inside of us to reflect what we imagine in our hearts, which then is always to be the highest realities for Gaia and all her life forms, and then just allow it to evolve. And I mean, we feel if each individual does this, each one who hears this message, we rebuild the very foundations of realities from within, and it will be, and it is based on peace and harmony.
Yeah, and another big theme in this past month or so has been safety. It's such an interesting study to be working within ourselves to explore where is it that I might not feel safe. And on Mary Magdalene's feast day, we did a meditation, a global meditation, which is on this Facebook page, with a solar disc encoded with safety. So if you don't know that meditation, then we invite you to visit it, because there is this technology that came in with the solar disk to work through our system with the solar disk to really dissolve any part of ourselves that does not feel safe. And of course, what we want is to create a micro environment of feeling absolutely safe, so that in the macro, there's a feeling of safety that's gradually built up within our planetary culture.
Yeah, I think it's really important to meditate on that this is coming from the inside. Though many of us, if we talk about safety, we talk about it as something coming from the outside, which is a reflection from eons of life on Earth that has not helped us safety. So it's now the field has shifted so dramatically in a positive way that the fertile ground is here so that all of us remember our inner power to create from the inside out and create this micro environment of safety. So that step by step, or all of a sudden, we see ourselves facing a reality in safety. So it's a great exercise, and I think it's actually a beautiful suggestion to go back to this technology and understand why it's so important to feel absolutely safe in ourselves. Yeah, it's liberation. It's about liberation.
So the third topic that we wanted to bring into this live is one that I am personally so passionate about. It's really occupies my awareness, the study of this. It's really this merger that is happening now for several months. We've spoken about it in our remembership community. This merger of the void, this space, this space of space, and the material reality. And
I do like this, right?
Yeah. So traditionally in Indian cosmology, there's a teaching about this that is the lemniscat. And on one side there's space, and on the other side there's material reality, and we go through the center point to each side, to the material side, and then to the side that has the spaciousness, and we go back and forth. So in a way, it's a duality. And what we've been seeing over the past months is that the invitation is now to bring these two together in a way, to overlap them. So there's a space where the two become one. And somebody wrote, and it was beautiful to read this, that this in the Chinese point of view is the dragon and the phoenix coming together. And I thought that was really, really insightful. So it's something that we don't know how to do. It's something that we are practicing. It's a reminder also that science says that we're 99% space. So actually, it's really also becoming aware of that, spending time in that space while we're doing our daily lives. So some of us have the habit of doing a meditation and then going out in daily life, and those are two separate realms. And this is an invitation really to begin to really overlap the two and maintain this space of space while we are actually living our daily lives. And that will require practice.
Yeah, it's practice. We've not been taught about this. Yeah. So, for example, just to make it really practical in your material reality, there is a very important practice actually in the new paradigm, how we can live through this tradition, which means that if something happens in your life that really has an impact on you, you react emotionally, you find yourself in a situation that you think like, my gosh, how did I end up here? And it's quite substantial, and you really need to transform it, transmute the whole situation. The way to do this, according to us, and I feel this is also where the practice comes in, when we arrive in a process like this, it is wonderful to find a few like-minded souls around you, to express to them that you are in this specific process, and to ask them to hold space for you so you can move through it as smooth and easy as possible in a field of trust and bringing in all your mastery to really transmute it inside of you. So we've spoken a lot about find your community. It's very important. Find your people that are like-minded, that do the spiritual practice. In this case, for example, it only takes maybe 2 or 3 people together to start practicing this as a normal way of living. It's not something extraordinary, but because we don't know it, we need to practice it, until it becomes a normal situation. So, and for example, in a group of 3 people, each of us has everyday things that we need to transmute, and if they're not only in our lives, we may be impacted by what we call the outer world and that we want to work with. So whatever the subject is, if it's small or maybe a larger subject, we can work with it in a space that is held by others to make it easier. And then we can move through it, clean it out, and become this microcosm that we spoke about, so that we become this fractal of peace. This practice, what Anna is talking about, is being simultaneously in matter. It can be more dense, can be more slow, can be more difficult or heavy sometimes. And at the same time, keep the ego view, keep the overview, stay in the observer, so that in that combination, the alchemy can happen. And for us, the alchemy happens in the center of the 𝐬𝐳𝐾. So this very practical example of practice is an example of how we can practice the void, our highest consciousness available, our highest space available, in combination with our material reality here on Gaia Earth as human beings, because that is what we do. We embody all of this spaciousness, and at the same time we transmute a whole field into love and into light.
Yeah, and it's really actually an incredible opportunity. I see it like a living laboratory, that we are really the living laboratory. So we are both the observer and the observed, which is not a new concept. But it feels at this moment that this opportunity is much more easily accessible, but it does need to be practiced. And we are also moving when we are simultaneously able to hold as part of our consciousness in the void while we are going through our day. Then we're really holding a space for a highest outcome of the situation, which may be something we've never imagined before. And that's the magic of the process. That's the potential of the process. And that's also living absolutely in symbiosis with a great mystery that operates through us, with us. And it's a state of magic that we enter. Yeah,
it's available here now. Yeah. So if you have experiences on this, please share them here under this post. We love to read them, how you move through these processes, how you move through these times, and what it is that you contribute, because we can so much learn from each other. Sharing is so important. So we're looking forward to that. And we probably will share more during this week, because there's so much information that has entered our field. So we hope to see you soon again.
Opportunities for growth and opportunities to use our power. That's the way to look at it.
Yeah.
Thank you for being with us. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.
Namaste.